What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's let a couple people get in. Let me know how this microphone is sounding. I'm doing something, kind of quick, but I grabbed my computer, and yeah, I'm sitting here with the rig. We got a couple new items, and at 2 p.m. today, we will be releasing the electric shaver shootout. Which, yeah, that took some life. That took some years off my life right there. It definitely did. Let me get my comments up. See who's up in the building here. Let me know if you're in here, how I'm sounding, what it's looking like. And yeah, we got some announcements to make too. We got some announcements to make on the channel. So I'd like to start this one off by quickly recognizing Slicker for sending me this rig. Now, I've actually had it for a couple weeks. And what's up, Jeremy? Good to see you, man. I've actually had it for a couple of weeks, and I've been using it in the shop a lot. And I also lent it to a friend, and you guys seen he cut my hair. That was Mo Cuts. He wound up going over to that competition in Texas, and he came back with the win. So, super talented, and shout out to him. But one of the things he used during the competition was this rig. Now, I've recently moved my station around. You guys know I'm in the back, and I'm kind of doing things a little differently. What up, Rusty? Yeah, look like Iron Man, right? Yo, you guys should see these buckles on this thing. I mean, it would probably be difficult for me to show you guys, but these are like parachute buckles. I mean, they're super strong, some type of metal or something. I'm not sure if they're magnetic or whatever, but I got a way to check it. Let's see if they're magnetic. They're not magnetic. I'm not sure what they're made out of, but man, these things are strong as could be. So, anyhow, I moved my station back, and it is so nice. Like, let's say you're my client, right? You're sitting in my chair, and I'm about to cut you up, and I'm doing the consultation. You're like, hey, I want a number 2 on the back and sides, scissors on top. Well, it's a simple, I could just grab my whatever clipper I'm going to use. You know what? I'm going to grab this Apex out real quick. Normally, I don't even put it in here like this. Normally, I just put it right down like that. Just one, and then I'm quick to get it in and get it out, and it ain't going nowhere. So I pull out the new Apex, and you're like, hey, I want a number 2 on the sides. Bam, I smash on a dub, and I'm working. Now I'm done with the 2, right? I'm ready to put in my skin line, and I usually keep my brush on here as well. And this kind of brings me, to my next point is I'm not going back to the station at all. And if there's one thing that I absolutely love, I love efficiency. So yeah, I love efficiency. What up, Uproar? Got your weight up. That's right, man. I lifted my weights up this morning, boy. I'm getting back in that CrossFit, man. We doing it. We did a whole lot of jump roping and a whole lot of squatting. It seems like that's what we do most of the time. Squat mixed with something else, man. But yeah, I'm feeling good, and yeah. So yeah, how's this microphone, man? You guys hear me? It's kind of low. Thank you, man. Appreciate you guys for letting me know. Bam. That should be a little better, right? I usually don't use, I really normally don't use this microphone, this setup. This was kind of like, I was going to use my phone, but then I thought, you know what? I'd rather use my computer. It'll be better. So that brings me to the next thing is you guys going to notice that in the electric shaver review, I started kind of gravitating towards this because it's so small. It just fits right here. It's just super, super convenient. Like I can keep this on my chest. It doesn't weigh hardly nothing, and I'm able to go, right from knocking them down. I'll put a trimmer up here most of the time. Bam, trimmer, main clipper, whatever I'm using, and then boom, right here. So if you guys have any questions about the rig, fire away. And yeah, man, we got the weight up over here. Sorry, usually those comments disappear, man. So, on to the tutorials. Nestor, that's a good question because it coincides with my plan on this channel. So, I've been fighting the desire to do this forever. I never wanted to make the channel like a membership channel. But yo, hear me out before y'all get mad at me or run away or nothing. YouTube does not want to see that shit. I'm just being real with you guys. When I'm teaching, when I go really in depth, when I'm really trying to explain myself well, I know that I'm doing this for the greater good, but YouTube is now connected to my livelihood, and when I start to post videos like that, it just nosedives. It really does. So it's been driving me nuts because I want to create tutorials that are, like big time. I want to make that happen. Hey, yo, Drizzy the Barber, man. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. But I want to make tutorials that are in depth, and this is the thing. So if I was to make a channel membership, I want you guys to tell me what to do here. Give me some advice. So if I make channel memberships an option, right, and it's like $5 or $8 a month, something like that. I haven't really got that far with it. What I could do there is I could post full tutorials with no cuts in them at all. I could make sure that I'm giving you guys certain videos that I will not release, because when I release them on YouTube, I got to chop them up and I got to get rid of so much of that footage, and I know a lot of that will be useful to you. But if I do it in this way, this doesn't impact my analytics, it doesn't impact anything. I could just film these cuts, I could put them in there, and then I can also film these cuts live. So it'll help me to continue growing on YouTube, which is, obviously what I need to do. You guys got to realize, I've been over here doing this YouTube thing for over 10 years now. We're finally getting somewhere with it, man. I've watched a lot of people come out of left field and just straight to the top, over and over and over again. And, the reasons are obvious to me, that content is not engaging enough. It's not open enough for everybody. It's not fun to watch and to learn all the time, and it's getting to the point for me too where it's not as fun for me to make that content, especially if I can't do it at the level that I want to do it at. So that's what I'm saying. The Apex, all right, we got a question about the Apex. Budget Clipper Reviews is asking, does the Apex cut exactly like the Rebels? And as a matter of fact, this Apex sounds, I got the Rebels right here on the chest too. Did a double lock up here. So I got both of them right here, and we can do a quick little sound test for you guys. So this one's the Rebel, and you're gonna notice these have the exact same motor in them, but the housing, this metal housing, I don't know what it is about it, but it's a lot more quiet than the Rebel. It's a lot more quiet than the Rebel. So this is not actually the blade that came on it. This is just a Gamma taper blade. I put that on there immediately because this machine cuts so close. I wanted something that was a little bit longer. So I can do the majority of my blending with this, but when it comes to really harsh skin lines, I'm still grabbing my Rebel. Now, if you guys are familiar with the comfort of, say, a Magic Clip or a Wall Senior, I mean, you can kind of think of that, but these are a little bit lighter. Now, this is giving you probably a tiny bit more weight. I haven't got all the way into the comparison yet, but they're much more quiet. And I think for a, just a secondary kind of thing, this lever that comes on the Mythic, the Saber, now the Apex, this lever feels super premium, compared to the plastic levers, which this is a harder plastic. It's not quite as janky as the Low Pros lever. It does feel like a lot more premium. And now this is the exact same case that they used, obviously, for the Mythic, the Sabers, and now the Apex. And I just want to point out the fact that I did run this over with my truck one time. Not this specific one, but the same case, and it actually survived. So as far as dropping it on the floor or something like that, I would have a hard time believing that you would have an issue. I mean, you might break a blade or something, but I think that you're still going to be able to do that. So this is what I'm thinking. He said you're probably going to have to do something like Basio and his group as a mentorship for barbers, and that's that's something that I'm interested in to some degree, but I don't really want to create something that's like a bunch of money for everybody. I feel like this knowledge should be shared. It should be passed on. It takes a long time to accumulate, skills in this business. And one of the things is if you can keep your willingness to learn, if you can still be willing to learn from people who are maybe not as good as you or better than you. But if you keep that on there, you can keep growing. But like the moment you think you know it all, you're never going to get another thing left. So I wanted to keep it, you know, cheap, easy, but mainly I wanted it to stop impacting my analytics on YouTube so much and so negatively. So more than likely, I think that's the route I'm going to do. I'm going to probably do two. They say to do 3 tiers. I'm just going to do 2 tiers. In tier 1, we're going to have personal lives for anybody who's in the group. You guys will get the stickers and, you know, everything else, and, you know, you can show some love that way. But the other thing about that is level 2, the 2 level, I'm gonna drop full tutorials, uncut, just untouched, and I'm gonna put those up there, and you guys will be able to watch them, but it won't be released on the channel. What you'll see on the channel more than likely will be that same cut, but it will be cut up and edited, you know, the way that I normally do it. So Alan the Barber, he's asking, Eddie, Apex or Mythic? And for me, it's definitely going to be the Apex. If you guys were watching all my talk over the time that I've had the Mythic, I never really liked the weight of the Mythic, and for that reason, I couldn't use it for very long. So, you know, it's funny because when I began using it every day, it really wasn't that bad. But when, you know, I went back to, say, the Ergo, I was like, holy crap, this thing's way lighter, and it was just less for me. So I tend to like a little bit lighter of a clipper, and I think that this is not heavy at all. Like it has the look of it, but I'm telling you guys, this probably, I would have to guess it's very close to the same weight as the Saber. So, and since I got it, it's just been great. I haven't had not one snag, one pull, and you know, since Mo cut, I gave him my Sabers to take to that competition. I was kind of missing those last week, but then I got this in the mail, and I got a couple days in with this, and it's really a great clipper. So he said, I wish they sold separately. What we got here? I keep watching your old tutorial videos and still learning from them, man. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you. What up, Juan? What's going on, man? He said, just let me know what I got to do to get the knowledge that we need to win in this industry, man. I appreciate you. If I absolutely had to choose between the Saber or the Apex, it's not really it's not an easy decision for me, because the Sabers have I'm going off memory here, but it's a 5-hour runtime. It might be 6, but I think it's 5 hours of runtime, which means that, like, you can cut with that forever. I didn't even really look at the box on this one, so I don't really want to speak on this one, but if I had to guess, this one's probably 2 or 3 hours. So I think that what you're going to get with the Apex over the Saber is you're getting a more powerful motor. You know, and that's not even me verified yet. Like I said, I haven't had these long, so I don't want to make any like concrete statements here. He said the Wall Senior's goated, greatest clipper of all time. Yeah, right. You know, it's actually funny because doing the wall electric shaver, what I did was I took one from like every brand, you know. So I got this new Andis one, and I wasn't gonna do a bunch of Andis clippers or a bunch of Andis shavers rather, and a bunch of Babyliss shavers, and I wasn't going to do that. I was going to take the best one out of each of their line, talk about it, and when I was looking at Wall, I was thinking, damn, the best one you guys got is the Finale, and it's been like that for a long, long time. So it's just kind of funny, man, because the Wall could easily do it. It is a 6-hour runtime. It is a 6-hour runtime for the Saber. And if one of you guys wants to look up what the, I don't know if it's even advertised yet on the site, what the Apex goes for, I'm not sure. And the other thing is pretty sweet is, you know, I'm able to just, you know, get all my shears in. So as a matter of fact, I don't like cutting hair at home too often. You know, I almost never do it. But I knew that I had to do a haircut after work Saturday. And normally I got like this garbage, you know, like not garbage, but just a group of tools that I leave at the house just in case I need to do a haircut. When I took this home, this was pretty sweet. Like, I had everything in one place. it was sitting on my chest, and it was really no different than working at work. You know, I grabbed this electric shaver, bam, went to town, did these two, boom, 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 and you know, before you know it, I was done. Also, I've been kind of messing around with this Turkish razor for a little while here, but it's not quite, you know, this one's a total piece of junk. It is made in Turkey though, so I got that going for me. But Chad gave it to me to kind of test out. The feel of it, the way it cuts, is kind of cool, but this one's really janky. I mean, maybe it would be nicer if I had a nicer quality holder. So let's see. The Apex will be going for $220 on pre-order this week. And just so you guys know, I don't even have the box or nothing, but I remember you do get a stand, you do get the dubs, you do have a stretch bracket in there, and you do have a fade blade. A fade blade comes on that. Now, my guess is if you guys are buying the taper, if you guys are buying the amount of clippers that I think most of us are buying, you know, do yourself a favor and put a taper blade on one of them. You know, it's not the flashy, you know, fun type of blade, but damn, do they work, man. I mean, they really will help you finely detail your blend towards the end of the cut. I do that all the time, you know. I do it all the time. So, you know, that's one of those things that it's just a lot of people don't talk about, and you see people using, you know, one clipper. I don't know what's going on with the industry lately, but I remember watching a lot of like Instagram stories, especially like Vic Blends. Back in the day, Vic Blends would be posting like IG stories of him cutting hair. This kid would use like 7 clippers, you know. He would use like 7 clippers in one, you know, one IG story. So it's kind of funny because now I don't really think there's as big of a need for that. Yes, I can do everything I want to do with one of these clippers or the other, but man, having them blades is, you know, is clutch. Now, I see people asking for the taper blade. The taper blade is magical. I like that. I see people asking where they can get the Gamma taper blades. And if I were you, I would probably check both sites. I'm not sure which one carries it. So I would look at Stylecraft's site, and then I would look at the Gamma site. I had the black taper blade that I put on my Saber, but this one obviously is not black, but it's actually, you know, it's funny. Everything is reversed in the camera when I look at it, but everything is working exactly the same, you know. So you got this blade here, and it says Gamma, you know, Italy on it, whatever, and it's a good blade. It's a good blade, you know. So as far as like putting the stretch bracket on there, I don't know what you guys think about that. Like, you know, as far as putting the stretch bracket on there goes for me, I don't see a big point to it, because one thing you guys got to realize is the clipper can only cut as wide as the top of the wedge portion on the blade. So when you got your Oster fast feeds and you think you're cutting all the way to a number 1 because you're pushing it down, like, you're not. You know, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not. That's not how these work. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long your lever pull is. What matters is, you see this blade? It can only slide back to where it's at. So let's just say it slid back to about right here, right? Well, that means that the width of this, however wide this is, that's the longest it could possibly leave the hair. When you slide this forward, it moves down on the wedge, and that's going to be the shortest it could leave the hair. So whether the throw on the lever is really long or whether it's a little shorter, it's kind of inconsequential. So I don't want you guys to think that, like, just because you're putting a stretch bracket on there that you're getting some type of advantage, like, when you're really not. I mean, I know I've talked about this before, but it's a big misconception. I see people talking about this a lot on YouTube, and I'm just like, we got to realize that, like, when you're using a clipper blade, unless the stationary blade is wider, you're not creating more distance. So the whole purpose of the stationary blade is to comb hair into place, and everything on the opposite side of it is getting cut off by the cutting blade. So, you know, whether their blade is sliding down a half a mile, it's not going to change. So he said, I took the taper blade off the Prodigies. I think he meant the Protege. Prodigies. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they did. They came. You can buy that Protege clipper and trimmer combo for like, I think it was like 150. I remember on Black Friday it was like $100. So you can get that taper blade if you have to. That's probably where I got one of these that I was using before. So let me know what you guys think about this channel membership business. I'm just curious. I just want to hear it from you guys. You know, it's been something I've been wrestling with for a while, and I think it's a way that I can spend the time that I need to spend doing that, drop the type of knowledge that I want to drop, but also create those real creative, you know, edits and stuff that I normally try to do to make the videos more entertaining and more fun, you know. So if I think of it, you know, I'm gonna get to work on putting that together. But like I said, it's gonna be like 2 tiers. I think one tier is gonna be, you know, maybe like $9, and the other one's gonna be like, I think it was like $2.99 or something like that. So $2.99 gets you in the lives, and then $9.99 will get you lives plus full tutorials without many cuts in them. You know, where you could see every single portion of the cut, which obviously YouTube is moving into a direction that, you know, but creators like myself are not going to thrive. You know, we're not going to thrive. Like, teaching channels are going to take a hit, and we need to work our way around that, because there's just no other way. Think about all the people who are out here doing some good, teaching people things, and none of them can profit from that, because YouTube has basically said, hey, great job, Ed. You've accumulated 113,000 subscribers, but we're not going to show them none of your shit. How about that? So it makes me think, like, what's the point of even accumulating the subscribers? You know, like, if you have 113,000 subscribers, what was the point of that? What was the point of all that work? And if that number doesn't mean anything, then I just don't get it. You know, it just feels like older creators like myself are sitting here kind of like, it's a good thing I put in all this work and, you know, helped you guys grow your platform and did all this extra stuff for YouTube, but then in return, you know, they don't even get a delivery of my video. So anyways, let's see here. It's because they ain't got it in their hand in it. That's it, man. It really is. It's because they got their hand in it, and you know, they made it something, you know. Boom. Drizzy to Barber. If you guys if anybody wants to send products to try, you guys can feel free to reach out to me at this email address here, and I'll give you guys the shop address, and you guys can send stuff over. In other news, we've been experimenting like crazy people at the shop with different blade combinations. We got Nello Blends has been sending over all kinds of conversion stuff, and I'll tell you what, the Oster fast feed blade on the X Ergo, it is so phenomenal. It makes me like, I was just like, wow, this blade is just incredible. It makes me wish that Oster would have done a decent job with that. And Quentin then asked the golden question. He's saying low pro versus Rebel. Now, I have spent about 2 weeks cutting with the low pro almost exclusively, and there's been a lot of situations where I had to use my Rebel to kind of get that line out, because the low pro comes with a blade that I think most people are changing the blade. I remember when S-Craft had it, he was like the first one I seen with it. First thing he did was he put a wall wedge blade on it. You'll see that the majority of people who are telling you that they're good, and not to take nothing away from them, they are good, but they are also telling you they're good, but they're saying it with the fact that they've modified the blade. So if you took them at face value, low pro for Rebel, which one should you get? I'm gonna drop a comprehensive review on this, like I have been, as far as like going through all the data points. But from a usability factor, there's one thing that really makes me happy with the Rebel. Do you guys see this indentation that they have here? Now, the nice thing about an indentation like this is it's wide, and you can grip this clipper and put your thumb wherever you're comfortable. I find myself putting it, you know, off to the right a little bit sometimes, and off to the left a little bit. Now, with the Low Pro, it's almost like a fingerprint impression. and it almost forces you to hold the clipper in a position that you may or may not be comfortable with. But personally, I almost feel like that big impression, I feel like that big impression could have came down just a slight bit. And if it was there, I'd probably be more apt to want to cut with it. It's just one of those things that it just makes it kind of weird for me to hold. So, you know, for that reason, I still am picking up the Rebel. Now, we put a Fusion blade on the Low Pro, and it really, really worked out nicely. And that thing is sweet. Now, the one thing I do like about the Low Pro is it's quiet. It's a little more quiet than this, and when I'm filming, everything's backwards in the camera. I might say it's a little more quiet than this. I actually think that the Apex is probably, if not quieter, it's probably around the same area. You know, it's funny when it comes to noise, because I did a lot of testing on those electric shavers. It made me realize only after the video that I should have probably done some testing while they were cutting hair, not just while they were sitting there turning on. Because if you notice, when you cut with the wall finale, that thing gets like so loud when you begin using it. But when it's sitting there next to the other ones, it was like 80 decibels. So yeah, it's a personal preference. It is. You know, I like the Low Pro too. And you know, like I said, it's not a bad clip. I'll tell you guys this. It is the best clipper that Babyliss has made so far. I don't think there's any question about that. I don't think there's anybody who would want to say that no, one of those other ones that they made was better. Like I think it is definitely a better clipper. And the other thing is too, using it inside of the rig. The one thing that really drove me nuts at first was the Low Pro doesn't have this little on-off tab. Now, I've gotten quite used to grabbing this and hitting this with any finger, however I'm holding it, on-off. I mean, it's just very easy for me. But with that tab missing, that was messing with me a little bit, especially like the first 2 or 3 days. I kept grabbing it and kind of like moving it, you know, and moving my hand down here to mess with it. So, you know, I actually thought it was going to be a bigger deal than it was, because like I said, like 3 days later, I got my handhold down, and you know, it's just heavy enough too. It's not too heavy, but it's not too light. You know, it's just he said sent you a mock-up of the thumb. Okay, here, let's see if I could sneak peek this real quick. There we go. All right, we're getting there. Steve-O handles my thumbnails. Actually, let me drop the thumbnail for this video on here. Let's look at my telegram. Steve-O over there, Rusty Blades, YouTube barber. He's the man right there with the plan. He's always cooking up nice thumbnails for me, and I don't know if I could even see. Oh, there we go. I got it. Oop. So let's drop this right on the video. Bam. What y'all think of the thumbnail? What needs to happen? What needs to happen? I think we need to make some changes, Steve-O. But I like where your head's at. So that's a sneak peek of the thumbnail. Again, that video is coming out at 2 p.m., which is like 3 hours away. So it should be up there. And your boy has been all types of busy. Oh, let's see this here. This is what Chad's got going on here. Chad put on the Low Pro, Chad put the Oster fast feed blade on it. So, like I said, man, we've been over here cooking up all kind of craziness, and you know, just experimenting, just thinking about things from different angles, and that's Chad is really into that big time. So, anyhow, man, I got my head going in so many different directions right now. We got a plan to leave town in. Oh God, it's on Wednesday. So Wednesday, I'm heading up somewhere. The whole thing's kind of top secret, but I'm letting you guys in on a little bit. But we're gonna teach a class, and we got a couple other things going on, and we'll reconvene. We'll reconvene after that. But we're gonna be kicking off a new series on the channel that is I think it's really going to be big time. So let's see here. I have both Rebels all day long. Ergos are my best clippers. you know, I had a interesting, I had an interesting thought with the Rebels. They're just such a good clipper, like all the way around, that if you had to leave and go to a deserted island with only one, that's the one you probably should take. But somebody earlier was talking about they were mad because the Ergo 1.0 doesn't cut through bulk well. Like it wasn't intended to. You know, it was intended to be a fading clipper. That was the whole thought process behind that. The design is that, like, everything about that was blending, safety, forgiveness, and everybody loves them for that reason. The Ergo 1.0 is still a fantastic clipper. It's just you got to wrap your head around the fact that it's not going to do everything. Now, on this one, or even either one of these, if you have a fade blade on this, like, technically you could do everything you ever wanted to do with just one. You know, it'd be that simple. So you said, I want the cordless fast feed. No, you don't. You might think you do. You might think you do want something like the cordless fast feed, but I'm telling you guys, it ain't really, you know, it ain't really all that it's cracked up to be. So all right, you guys, it looks like everybody else is starting to have things to do. I got things I got to go do too, and I love you all. I appreciate you all, and we will reconvene. And like I said, I'm probably going to go forward with that channel membership stuff so we can do more of those, like, in-depth tutorials. I can have a place to put them. I can have a way to kind of flex my creative muscles where I can still create content like I want to create and go ahead and not be punished for it by the algorithm. So with that being said, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this live. I hope that you got something out of it. And yeah, you're going to see a little bit more of this. Eventually, I'm going to drop a full review on this slicker rig. I've had actually a couple buddies have it. Like, one thing that's kind of cool is, like, after a while, it starts to kind of curve to your body. It starts to really, like, fit you well. And, you know, that was one of the things I just didn't see coming. So I've been using it. Sooner or later, I'm going to drop a review on it. But you're going to see it in a whole bunch of videos going forward, man. So I appreciate you all. And I will be back with another one soon. And I just want to say that, you know, if you guys watched the game last night, I'm not sad about what happened to Mahomes. But he's got a free schedule today. Free schedule. He can do anything he wants. He ain't worried about no other games. Go Bills. Peace.